Hi, my name is Daniela Rojas and I am in high school 10th. And today I will be talking to you about how to paint aurora boreals, also known as northern lights. And the first thing that you want to do is get a big stencil or a medium stencil. And the first thing that you want to do is keep the stencil moist with water. Because if you don't moist the stencil first and you put the paint without the stencil being wet, then the paint will start to crack and the painting will just be ruined. After the paint is moist, it's more suggestible that you use a dark background. Why am I telling you this? Because if you want to paint aurora boreals, it is much recommendable that you use a dark background so the auroras can look more beautiful and more contrasting. The colors that you would like to use or want to use is black or dark blue. Personally, I decided to use black, but you can use dark blue if you like to give it a little more of a nice sky touch. Anyways, the next thing that you're gonna do is keep it moist. You can't let it fully dry because then the aurora effect will be ruined. Let me explain. If you want to get a certain idea of how the aurora boreals will look like, you can grab a white pencil and start tracing vertical lines so you can get an idea of what you want to do before you start painting. And then when you get a certain idea of how the vertical lines for the auroras want to look like, you want to grab a thin paintbrush like this. Grab most recommendable light colors or pastel colors. And then you start tracing going up like this, doing very skinny lines with bright colors. And then after you get all the colors, it's recommended to use a big paintbrush like this. You grab a big paintbrush, put it right here where the little vertical lines are. You put a little bit of pressure here, not too much because we don't want the paint to smudge, and start going up. The whole time going up. You can't go down because then it'll look weird and it'll be ruined. You want to do that the entire time with a little bit of pressure as gently as possible, because if you do it too hard, then it will ruin the painting. It will just look terrible. And then after you do this, if you would like, you can add more contrast. What's contrast? Contrast is like adding brighter colors, suggestively pastel colors or white to make it look more realistic, more beautiful, and more soft, like the actual aurora boreals. And then when everything is dry, I'm gonna give you a personal note of mine. I decided to paint the aurora boreals. Yes, I did do this painting, but I did one thing differently. I decided to use, well, personally, what I like, a white pencil to make it look more soft and realistic. How you can use this? You just start coloring the lines where you want it to contrast more. Start going up to make it look more softer. You can do this if you want. It's optional. This is like something that was just more easier for me. Anyways, thank you for watching, and especially thank you for my art teacher for teaching me how to paint the aurora boreals. Thank you. Bye.